So welcome back to the garden here in New South Wales. Well, this weekend we have got a bank holiday and the weather is set to be absolutely glorious. So for the past week we've had nothing but rain here, and I know I've been wishing for rain and we had it, plenty of it, but the garden has loved it. But now the weather has got really good, there's temperatures are starting to rise, and that really is pressing on with some growth now in the garden. So without further ado, on this beautiful evening, I'll take you around and show you how everything's looking now in the garden. So let's start a quick tour around from near the back door. So you can see that I've moved a few plants. This is my bromeliad, which is absolutely huge now in the pot. And I've got an acer here and some hostas. So this over here is my hosta guacamole. And just look how wide that is now. If I step back, you can see that that has got to be 3 foot across. So we have had a little bit of a jig around in this seating area. So there's the Tiki Bar there at the back. So I've moved the acer along the back fence here. Another bromeliad there in the centre. And Tony's chamaerops there, just in front of the Tiki Bar. The yucca foliifera, that's really settled into its new home now in the pot. And the plum tree, I've just moved into the seating area. And we've actually got a few plums coming on this now. Let's hope that the birds don't get them. And we'll be able to enjoy some plums later on in the season. So the first palm that you see is this one here, and this one is near the back door, and this is a waggy palm. And these have lovely stiff leaves, and it's in absolutely beautiful condition. I bought this one from Facebook Marketplace, and it's been in the ground now for about 2 years, and the gentleman that I bought it off told me that it was 7 years old at the time of purchase. So that makes it 9-year-old. It's a beautiful palm tree. And I just love the stiffer leaves on this. Ideal for windier locations, this one, if you are looking for a new palm tree. Now the Dicksonia Antarctica tree fern, just look how many fronds now have pushed out on that. And that is doing really well. It's absolutely huge now, but it's looking in full health. And those fronds are really beautiful to look at. Now the yucca rostrata in its arid bed is looking a lot tidier after its little trim down. The bottom of that was looking a little bit untidy, so I just trimmed them near to the trunk. And I think that's really enjoying now the sunshine. The heart's tongues ferns, I cut these back a few weeks ago, and they really are pushing out now with their new fronds. And everything in this bed here is really coming to life now. Fantastic. So walking now down the garden, and it's lovely to see some colour on the rhododendron. And I've got 5 rhododendrons in the garden, and it's quite strange how they're all at different stages. So this one is in full flower now. This is the variegated rhododendron. And the flowers on this now are absolutely superb. Just look at all the different colours on there. Lovely lilac beautiful. So one of the other rhododendrons is just coming into flower and the others have finished. This is a beautiful specimen of a variegated rhododendron. So behind that is the Clematis armandii. So I haven't done an update on that now for quite a while. But just look now how big that has grown. This was only put in last year and that has gone all the way around, and it's starting now to go over the back of the garage. So I think I need to get up there and just tie those in. How I'm going to do it, I don't know. So the cycas that I've got in the garden, I noticed, now there's a little bit of frost damage as this was left out all through the winter, and I just popped a little bit of fleece into the centre there. But it has got a little bit of damage, but it's doing okay. But in the centre there, right in there, there's a little bit of growth coming. So is this going to flush this year? This was only bought last year. But I'm hoping that we'll see some new leaves on this. So continuing now down the pathway, another climber that I've got in the garden is my Clematis Ernest Markham, which is just on a trellis here. Now I moved this one this year. It was down the bottom of the garden near the greenhouse and it wasn't doing well. But just look how tall that has grown. So there's no flowers on that yet, but it should come out in some lovely pinky coloured flowers. And I think that's going to do okay. So just remember now with the clematis to keep those roots nice and cool. So it's ideal to have another plant in front of it like this just to protect it from the sun. And it does like full sun up on the top. And as long as you remember that and to keep it watered, it should do well. So this nice deep border here to the right hand side as I walk down the garden is doing really well. There's a lovely Photinia there, lovely pink edging, a Nandina. Behind that, a Mahonia soft caress. And just look at those. The Schefflera Taiwaniana is just coming out now with a lovely new flush of fresh leaves. Beautiful. They look so delicate. Just look at those. So this week I was catching up on one of my favourite gardening YouTube channels, which is Tiki Tropicals. And he was explaining how so many people have been missold these palm trees here, which are the Cordyline Indivisa, or so I thought. Looking at it now, after he put a picture on the screen of what an Indivisa actually looks like, I was definitely missold this palm tree. I think it's just a plain, ordinary Cordyline Australis, but that doesn't matter because the Australis is a lot easier to look after. No wonder this palm tree has been doing so well. And there was me thinking that I was doing something special to keep it alive. Obviously not. But nevertheless, it's a wonderful specimen. It's grown so much since we've had it in 2 years, and it's a really chunky looking cordyline, and I love it. So it doesn't really matter what it is, it's still a fantastic palm tree. But thank you so much, Tiki Tropicals, for letting me know. I'm really thankful for your knowledge. So down the very bottom of the garden now, you'll notice that I've had a little bit of a tidy up down here. So that is the Photinia Crunchy, and I've just taken out a few branches out of that. The Wolfenii, the flowers were fading a little bit, so I've taken out a few branches there. And just look how much these have grown. Now when I pop these in, these are the Rhododendrons, and there is, I think, 1 or 2 miscanthus as well in that clump. And I didn't know if these were going to survive, as it really was the wrong time of year. But that clump has got so much growth. And there's also a little rogue tetrapanax that's just popped up at the base there. So that can stay for the time being until I decide what I'm going to do with it. But these have grown up now, so tall. So you can see now that I've just moved one of the slimmer water butts down nearer the greenhouse. So tomorrow I've got to go out now and buy the fittings, just so that I can get that started up, and that'll be handy now just to use to water down this end of the garden, so I haven't got to go back and forth up to the top of the garden there. So Tony's agave or vatifolia, that is really looking good, and that's really filling out now. It is starting to grow, and I think it's liking that arid mix there, and it's going to enjoy the sunshine now over the next few days. And in the centre bed there, I've got some geums, which add a little bit of a splash of colour. Beautiful. And as we move along, there's also some lovely geums there too. So as you walk now down to the greenhouse, you're greeted by some lovely orange coloured geums, and that's the Totally Tangerine. So it's lovely to be able to come out into the garden in the early evening and really enjoy this nicer weather. So I've had a really good day in the garden today, doing a little bit of tidying up, and it's been lovely to get out and really enjoy just pottering around the garden and doing a few jobs, as I haven't been able to get out at all in the last week due to the rain. And you'd never think that this time last week it was pouring down. It's like a summer's day here. So all of the garden this evening is going to get a really good watering, as the earth is so dry now with these hotter temperatures. So I've got a big job to do tonight, just to get out the hose pipe and get watering these plants. But I think they're going to thank me for it. So moving now down to the greenhouse, let's have a look. So the oleander is doing well, agapanthus, so there's a few salvias outside, and looking now into the greenhouse. Look at the size now on them tomato plants. So the large then Ionium, and just look at that cactus there. That's coming into flower again. So that is one happy cactus. And the pineapple little cuttings, ratoons as they're known, are doing okay. So there's 3 of them there, a mangave and one other small tomato plant which I've got a pot on. just look at the new growth now on this tetrapanax. Reaching up for the sky. Plenty of growth on there. 3 years old now and doing well. So the golden feathers has come out now with some lovely purple flowers, and everything in this border here, which is what I planted last week, is doing really well. The Bano Bay there with its lovely purple colour and a little spider's web there. Beautiful with its variegated leaves and a few ferns too. Really wonderful. Now the tree fern that we've got near the pathway, you'll know that Tony and myself bought this last year for half price as it wasn't doing too well. But just look at those fronds. And there's plenty more coming out there. So I hope you've enjoyed a little look around the garden today just to see what's growing now in this lovely warmer weather. So if you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. And so until next time, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.